Hi everyone, this is Maureen from the Plainfield Guilford Township Public Library, and I'm here today to show you how to make a tissue paper collage. This is what your finished product will look like, or one option for it, so we're going to walk through all the steps today. To start off with, here's what you'll need for this project. Tissue paper. I have a couple of different colors here, and I'll cut some shapes out from them. Scissors, contact paper, tape, and then if you want some sort of paper for your backing. You have a couple of options here and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. You might also want a glue stick and a ruler, but that's up to you. Okay, so first of all, you want to think about what your collage is going to look like. This project is pretty open-ended, so you could go with an abstract theme, or you could try to make a landscape, or whatever you're interested in, basically. You might also want to think about what colors of tissue paper you want to include as well. So if I'm looking here, I think these would look nice together, and I'll add this green. Okay, so today I'm going to make a flower collage. And these are the colors that I picked out. So next you're going to cut out the shapes that you want to use. This is actually a pretty small size, what I have cut out for my contact paper, although you could make it much bigger if you'd like to. But I'm not going to. I'm going to do this small one. So I'm not going to do too many here. I will go ahead and cut out a few of these blue. I really like this dark blue color. I think it's really pretty. And I'm just going to kind of do a bud shape for these because it's a smaller one. Okay, and then I'm going to cut one big flower out of this one. So I'm going to fold it into quarters and then one more time into eighths. And then I'm going to cut a petal on one side and a smaller petal on another. So when I unfold it, it will look a little bit like a flower or a star. And then with this one, I'm going to go for kind of a tulip shape. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it 4 times into quarters. And then I'll do tulip. Just like that. And finally, I'm going to cut a few leaves out of my green tissue paper here. If you want to, feel free to copy those ideas, or if you feel like you aren't confident in being able to just cut something freehand like I am, you can also go ahead and find a pattern online or draw one in advance that you can trace. Okay, so once you have all of your flowers cut out, you'll go ahead and take your first piece of contact paper. You don't want to peel the back off just yet, because what you want to do is go ahead and lay it out so that you can kind of get a rough idea of what it will look like and if it'll work out for you. I think I'm not going to use the second one when I'm looking at it, but I do want some of these blue scattered around, almost like little petals, and maybe another 1 or 2 of these green leaves. Okay, once you have a right idea of the rough layout, you can go ahead and set these aside and then peel off the backing. There we go. All right, so instead of putting this sticky side down, you want to make sure it's sitting sticky side up. And you can take a piece of tape and just put it at each of the 4 corners so that it doesn't peel up too much off of the table. Alright, now we're going to lay our pieces of tissue paper down, and remember this will be the final version, so make sure you're happy with it before you actually press them down. If you have overlapping pieces, you may want to use a little bit of glue from your glue stick to make sure that they don't move around too much, but you won't want to use Elmer's glue or any kind of liquid glue because that would make the colors run on your tissue paper. All right, I'm going to start with this big one here. And then I'm going to do a couple of these. And then this guy. Add some leaves. I'm actually going to go ahead and add one of these yellow little quarter foils that I cut out earlier. All right, now this is a point at which you have a choice. If you like how I did this one that I finished earlier, you can take another piece of contact paper and unpeel it just the same as this one, and then carefully lay it down on top. That will give you this kind of see-through effect. You could also use a larger piece of tissue paper if you want a colored backing that's still a little see-through, or you could use a piece of printer paper. You could use white colored, whatever you feel like. Just think about how it will look with these colors. So now that I'm holding it up here, I don't really like how those colors go together. So what I'm going to do is try to piece together a backing from this that's a little bit lighter and a little more in line with the colors I picked. All right, so let's see here. Sometimes when you're in the middle of a project, you have to kind of stop and think about whether you'll be happy with it if you just keep going the way you had it planned originally, or if you need to stop and make some adjustments. Okay, so now you can peel it up and untape the tape at the corners. Turn it over, see how it looks. I'm going to take this tape off. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim all around the edges of my project so that it's nice and flush. This is where you might want a ruler just to make sure that it's all squared off, but if you trust your hand-eye coordination, feel free to go ahead and skip that part. Okay, so there you have it. These are two very similar projects, but you can see they look really different. So that's part of what's nice about this. You can make it over and over again, and each time it'll turn out a little bit different. You can also decide to punch a hole in it to hang it up, or you could tape it up on a wall or window. You could put it in a picture frame or make a frame for a border. Or you could even, if you have dried flowers or leaves, things that you collect from the outside world, you could use those instead of tissue paper, which would be different but really neat. So this is a very open-ended project, but I just wanted to show you the steps for it. The contact paper really helps be able to lay it out in advance before you press it down and make it final. So there you have it. We hope you enjoy this project, and we'll be back with some more activities and programs. Bye for now.